Brooke, I am so excited to meet you.
Well,
I
I'm excited too.
I really feel like I'm meeting a long lost friend. I don't know why. With a few people in our community, like I feel like I know them and I feel like I'm friends with them without actually even meeting them ever.
I have that thing of giving too much information sometimes. So it could be a little bit of that, but I have been a part of that community for a really long time, long before he was even
I
a
know.
part of us. So I really loved that group because it was just that parenting community that I needed when my two older girls were small.
Yeah, so now
And
now now explain to people because people kind of seeing this for the first time, who you are, Brooke, what your journey has been, and like because your journey is so interesting in my head. You are not like a typical new mom or new parent who's kind of, hey, like I'm interested in cloth diapers, I'm pregnant, my baby is coming in 6 months, like I'm looking for like information and some support. You are not that person. Tell us your story, like Brooke, tell us some like I'm getting goosebumps because I know parts of it. I'm so like I want to share this story of yours with people because it's so unique. Tell me that, Brooke.
well, I'll make it short and sweet, but basically, so I have a 13-year-old daughter and an 11-year-old daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm no longer with their father. And then I started a new relationship with a young man who didn't have children of his own. And he was more than happy to be a great stepfather and everything like that. But he was somebody that really did like dream of having a baby of his own. And when he started dating me, I was like, I'm done having kids. I'm past my prime, that kind of thing. But then the longer we started dating, I was like, I really want to have a baby with this man. And it made me want to like yearn for that baby when I was really done before that.
And
So
so when did that yearning start? When did you kind of think, oh no, you know what, I want to have a baby? How many years ago was that?
it wasn't too like we just celebrated our 2 year anniversary
Oh
this month.
wow. Oh
So
wow.
it like time was of the essence when you were pushing 40, So so I had to act quick, and so we got pregnant fairly quick after deciding that we wanted to try for a baby. And that baby ended in a miscarriage, and it ended up being like kind of a crazy miscarriage. It was a molar pregnancy, and I had to have two different surgeries to
Tell me what
correct
a
it.
molar pregnancy is. I have no idea what a molar pregnancy is.
Well, I had never heard of it before I was diagnosed with it, so that's not uncommon to not hear of a molar pregnancy. But basically, in a nutshell, a molar pregnancy is where um, some cells in your uterus start attacking the fetus, and so what happened was these cells attacked the fetus and killed it, but then continued to act as a pregnancy, so like a mole.
Oh,
Um,
like almost
like when
like
you hear
a
of a mole in
parasite.
this, like yeah, sort of, and these cells can actually like turn into cancer, like, but it's still acting like you're pregnant. So if I took a pregnancy test, it would still show that I was pregnant.
But there is no
um
heartbeat. There is no,
no, the baby no longer exists. It's this cluster of cells now.
and it's
So
just
that's,
fooling your body.
it's fooling my body. I still have the HCG levels that show that I'm pregnant. So yes,
Look
you've
at
heard
this
this
guy.
story, Ori.
Like, come on, mom. I've heard it a
Yeah.
million times. Move on.
So we didn't find out until our first ultrasound, and the ultrasound technician had never seen it before, and she was just ultra confused, and she was like, I'm not seeing what I'm supposed to be seeing.
And it's so rare.
Super rare, 1 in 1,000 pregnancies.
Wow.
Yeah, 1 in 1,000 pregnancies. So we determined that there was no longer a heartbeat, so I had to get a DNC. And then about a month after my DNC, so my doctor phoned me a week after that and said, it was actually a molar pregnancy. Have you ever heard of it? And I said I hadn't. She explained to me what it was, and then I had two different occurrences of like hemorrhaging, like almost bleeding to death. And because I'm super stubborn and I didn't go to the hospital, I just was like, well, it should go, it should be, it should be okay. I thought it was just a symptom of the DNC. And so we were at a concert actually in London and
London, Ontario.
London, Ontario. Yeah, we were seeing Blue Rodeo.
Okay.
And then I had another hemorrhaging attack sort of thing on the arena floor. And it was the most embarrassing thing, but my boyfriend was super supportive. He was like, we need to take you to the hospital. And I said, I want to see Blue Rodeo. If I'm still bleeding at the end,
my
we
God,
can go to the hospital.
Brooke.
And he's like, Brooke, we're in the city where the best hospitals are for women. Like, let's go. But it stopped. And I called my doctor the next day and she said, I want you to go to Emerge. Her husband, who's also a doctor, was waiting for me. And then he diagnosed that there was still some matter left in me from this molar pregnancy.
Oh, so the DNC did not clean everything out, basically.
Because they just did a standard DNC. So they didn't know at that point what they were dealing with. So I had to go to a specialist in another city and
so they didn't even know.
DNC.
So even when the DNC was going on or when it happened, they didn't know it was molar even then.
The first DNC, they thought it was just a regular miscarriage. So the second one had to have a little bit more of a specialized surgeon, like an OBGYN surgeon in another city hospital. And she fixed me all up, and I took my girls to Florida to see my mom to recover and recuperate. And then I had to have 4 months of blood tests where my HCG level was going down until I was allowed to conceive or try to conceive again. So once we got the all clear that it was not cancerous, we were able to try and conceive him. And then this is what we got from that then.
Oh my God. Looking at Ori,
it was a journey for sure, yeah.
Looking at Ori, it kind of, as like you say it almost like laughingly, but this is all could have killed you.
Yes, it was. I wrote a blog post about it just because it sort of helped me to heal, but also because I felt like miscarriage was such a hush-hush topic among women. And I had a best friend that told me she had a miscarriage 5 months after she had it because she was so not embarrassed, but just it's a private thing you deal with. And I'm
why is it a taboo subject? I kind of see that in my family as well.
Yeah, I don't know why it's a taboo subject. And that's why I was like, I'm going to write a blog post about this. And it ended up being like a 3-part series. And I had, just because my miscarriage was so specialized, there was more to talk about other than just, I lost a baby, how do I move on from it? There was so many moving parts to this thing that happened to us. So
tell me now, why do you think is it a taboo subject? What makes it, why is miscarriage such a taboo subject?
I don't know why it is, but I wish it wasn't. I don't know. It's almost like the same reason you don't want to share that you're pregnant until you reach that 3-month mark, because maybe sharing the loss is great. It's
I can see that.
I'm not
don't
one
want
that
to share that news of loss. That's why they want to give people false hope, but also they don't want. I understand that bit of it. But
so I'm one that I don't think it should be a taboo subject.
Neither do I.
I welcomed questions. I told everybody if they asked.
Obviously,
I got a lot of messages from people that were like, "Thank you so much for sharing."
And this was, I feel that I know for a fact that your miscarriage you were part of the community even before you were.
As soon as we started trying to conceive, I'm like, I'm gonna order this child diaper. I got the vibrant green one, and I'm gonna cloth diaper because I cloth diapered with my other children when they were young, and I just really loved it. And so I said to my boyfriend, I said, I'm gonna cloth diaper, like we're gonna cloth diaper, not we're gonna cloth diaper. Is that okay? He's like, that's great, And I said, well, I've already ordered a cloth diaper. And we like decided like that week that we were going to try to have a baby.
And
and I said,
you've already jumped the gun and you're ordering diapers from the internet.
That's what I said. I said, do you think I'm jumping the gun? And he said, if we build it, they will come.
Oh, so yes, that's my man.
He was
that's
very
my man. This is a man with a vision. He's like, you know what?
Yep.
I know the baby is coming. Let's get the diaper.
Coming. Yep. So
you are basically you are making a declaration to the universe that I am ready.
Yep. We were ready for a baby for sure.
That is so beautiful.
I had amassed quite a decent collection, maybe about like 15 or 20 diapers by the time I had the miscarriage. And I remember looking at these diapers and just kind of sitting on the floor and crying and looking at these diapers because it was just such a symbol of our hope. And then our hope was
so what did the God forbid guarantee at that point, knowing that the God forbid guarantee was there with Lil Helper?
So I knew that you had actually reached out and said on Facebook that this God forbid guarantee is here. But I knew that we were going to try again. And I didn't feel like it was something that.
Can you tell people what a God forbid guarantee is?
So the God forbid guarantee is something that I've only heard of Lil Helper offering, which I think is fantastic. But basically it started because you had seen somebody trying to sell new diapers online.
Right. But tell me what it is. Like, just tell somebody what that policy is, not even how it started, just so that somebody has an idea of it.
So if something happens to your pregnancy or during your delivery where you don't, unfortunately don't come home with a baby, the company will refund your purchase prices, will refund the money that you've spent, and they don't even require the diapers to be sent back. It's more of a keep them if you are blessed with a child, or donate them to somebody that might use them, that kind of thing. It's just, it takes the pressure off of having to deal with these diapers that you may or may not use.
And it's basically allows, we want for our objective of doing this is not even to make you whole money wise. It's to make you whole as a person. I want you, meaning this is my hope that
it's a tough subject. Yeah.
It allows somebody to at least grieve in the way that they have to grieve, because I know people grieve very differently.
Yeah.
And I've understood that over years of doing this with Lil Helper, seeing it with folks like you, like you're real people. You're not just some transactions. And our hope was to have a community and have a business that can treat people like people, not transactions. And that's our hope. That's the hope and the God forbid guarantee as well. And I hope that we can fulfill that and keep on fulfilling that.
It's something that I didn't even know was a thing. I didn't feel like I wanted to get my money back because I felt so strongly about the fact that I was going to have a baby. And you know what, when he's around too, I really he is truly meant to be here. If the other pregnancy happened, I would have, I wouldn't have even known about him, but it's just like what's meant to be is going to happen in life. And you really have to believe in that. And I did believe in that when I was going through it. And
I see Ori on Unsnapped all the time.
All the time.
And I would be upset if I don't see him. So this is not to tell you, make sure we get our daily doses of Ori for sure. But not only that, I know of, because you see that child, I personally feel that you've gone through that trauma because you have this beautiful child. There's this beautiful poetry I heard a few weeks ago that it's in Urdu, and I don't know if that it will even make sense. But basically, I've suffered enough now. I need my fruit. I've done my work. Now let me see my fruit, that this is your fruit.
Yeah.
This is the universe rewarding you for your patience, for your sincerity, and for your belief, saying that this is the prize that you were looking for, your beautiful, amazing child. He looks like a doll. I don't know,
Yeah,
like,
he's a sweet little boy. Like, people can't even believe it sometimes when they're hanging out with him, because he's pretty low key. But he was born into a crowded family, so
so
um,
you have a 13-year-old, an
uh,
11-year-old,
yes,
and a toddler,
almost 6 month old,
six
almost
month
six
old.
month
How
old.
is
Yeah.
that? How is that journey of like becoming a parent all over again? I'm sure you must have forgotten to do a few things, right?
Oh, it's amazing. I recommend it to everybody. Have a 13-year-old age difference, and then you're golden. My daughter Izzy, she rocks him to sleep most nights,
Oh
and
God.
they both know how to change a cloth diaper, and it's great. Like, I mean, I almost feel like I'm a first time mom of a brand new baby, but experienced and relaxed enough because I'm not a first time mom. And um, yeah, I have lots of help, and he's got so much love around him. Like, we joke all the time. We're like, "Oh, you're not loved at all, are you?" And he just smiles. Like,
He
he's
has
just
three mothers, right?
well, yeah, my mom stays with us
Oh,
during the
four
summer as
mothers.
well as
Oh my
well. So
God.
my poor boyfriend is outnumbered by women in this house. He was very happy when he saw that he was a boy.
Ah,
So he
finally.
had a little bit of equaling out the estrogen and testosterone levels.
Oh my God. That is so fascinating. Brooke, there's a there's an interesting part of your journey is kind of you are right now in Ontario. I know that you worked on the Ricky Lake show. Come on, tell me some juicy details. Like this is okay, let me tell you my fascination with Ricky Lake first. I came to
Yeah.
Canada when I was 19, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, from India. I come to Canada and suddenly I am living alone because I came from a joint family. Like we had like a million people all the time in our home. It's India, right? It's
Yeah.
already crowded. Like those country, even my home was very crowded. So I come over here, I finally have my own little bed. I have my own TV, and when I turn the TV on, I see Jerry Springer. I could not believe it. I could not believe that this is happening on TV at a 19-year-old in 2002. And then I found Ricky Lake, and there's daytime TVs were like daytime TV was like my thing. It became my thing. I used to come home
And watch.
and after university and watch daytime TV because I was just fascinated with it. Like, what's going on?
Did
As
you
a
speak
kid in India,
English? As like, did
well,
you or
I spoke very clear English. I was
okay?
raised in a Catholic school, so
Yep.
I spoke my obviously my accent was much thicker. It would be like you could see that I'm like I just came literally right now from another place, but I could understand English. But the culture was so different,
Oh yeah. Well,
and
you can't really say that North American culture is based on Jerry Springer,
but that was what I
but
thought. That is
yeah, for sure.
this is
You're like, how did I end up here?
yeah, what's going on? Oh my God, this is insane. Like these relationships are happening randomly and then people are beating each other. Like it was madness. But obviously Ricky Lake was not that. She had like a really sincere personality.
Yes,
And
she's
she
a
was
smart woman.
100%. You could
Yeah.
see it. Now tell me, Brooke, what you were doing there. How did you end
How
up
did I
there?
get there?
Yeah.
So I went to college for television broadcasting,
Okay.
and during our third year of college, which was our final year in the program, we were supposed to do an internship.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the kids just did sort of a 2 week internship at the local news station just to sort of get it out of the way and then just get
Right.
into working. And I was of the point where I was like a young girl that was 19 years old, 20 years old. And I was like, well, I'm going to use this opportunity to do something big. So I sent resumes to 3 different talk shows in New York City.
And this, you
I
are still
don't
in Ontario.
I'm a country bumpkin. Like I came from a town of like maybe 7,000 people,
Wow.
and my mom was like, New York, New York City, great. Um, so an internship, of course, is unpaid too. So how are you going to live in New York City? But I just figured, well, we'll figure it out. I've always been that sort of risk taker. So I sent my resume saying that I wanted an internship at 3 different talk shows, and I ended up going to New York City for an interview at each of them. And then just at the Ricky Lake show, I just felt like the staff that I met, the people that I interviewed with, they invited us to see a show being taped. I just felt like I belonged there. So that was the internship that I ended up accepting.
Mm-hmm.
And I packed a bag and moved to New York City. And I lived with some people, like a young family that I met online. And
And this was back when, in 2000 what?
I was in New York City for September 11th.
Oh, wow.
So it was prior to that.
Oh,
So I'd say like 2000-ish, 1999-ish.
wow. Right.
And so I moved there, and I got to live with them for free. In exchange, I babysat for their kids a few times a week. So that was how I did the living situation. And I was an intern at the Ricky Lake show, so I got to do a ton of things. Like I look back at it as one of my favorite parts of my life. And when the show was finished, because I was an unpaid intern and I was Canadian and it was American, I was unable to get a job
Then
afterwards, just with
understood.
the visa situation. But I wasn't quite ready to leave New York City, so I ended up staying. And one of the high ups, one of the bosses of Sony Pictures Television, which owns the Ricky Lake show,
Mm-hmm.
she brought her baby to work with her every day.
Mm-hmm.
And because I love babies so much, I ended up kind of nosing around and talking to this baby and hanging out with this baby. And I actually became her nanny then, and stayed for
Wow.
several years after that. So I still got to sort of live a little bit in the television world, but as a nanny to the sweet little boy. And he's now in second year of university. And
No
yeah, so
way.
I've been
Look,
around.
what
I've been
an
around the
interesting
block. Yeah.
story.
So
That is such
I
an
worked at the
interesting
Ricky Lake
journey.
show, and she's a smart woman. I love the way she can speak. And she was actually the little boy's godmother. So
Wow.
we ended up hanging out and doing some family Thanksgivings and that kind of thing together afterwards. So I got to know her on a
Amazing.
personal level as well. And she's a sweet woman, and she's tough, and she's been through a lot in her life, but she's definitely somebody that that I look up to
Amazing.
as a woman, for sure. So
Amazing, Brooke. What a fascinating story. What a fascinating story. What like can you imagine? Like I feel like it is such a crazy world that we live in, that you can have those experiences, and what are the chances that somebody like me would ever actually know about this? I feel so fortunate to be part of your lives in some sort of weird kind of like a way. Like I call myself Uncle Mo. Like all these babies that I see, I feel like I have a
yeah, you get to
connection to
be a part
them,
of all of our life. Yeah.
and I feel like I feel like I don't deserve this. This is like this is a dream that will like kind of somebody's going to pull me out. This is I can't believe this. I have so much gratitude for people like you, Brooke. I have so much gratitude for people like you for sharing your life with us, for being so open hearted. I see you helping out people on Unsnapped. Feel like you are like an old matron of, not that you're old, but that old matron. I see, this is
With
me
it, it's
putting my foot
okay.
in my mouth, right? Like I'm calling people
I've
old.
earned every year, so I've lived every year, and I've earned every year. And
Yeah, and
yeah,
by old, I mean like like somebody who's been there, done that,
the
and
wise owl.
I feel like you are doing that. You're providing love, support for new people coming in that community on Unsnapped, and I truly appreciate that, Brooke.
Parenting groups online can be a little bit Hunger Games-ish. They like they're not always the nicest people that you're coming across. And the one objective that I really have when I go on Unsnapped is to make the person's day better, make them feel
That's it.
better about the journey that they're on. If your baby's having trouble sleeping through the night, let's make some suggestions and try to help it. If you're having I went through fit problems with him because he had these little chicken legs, and I'm like, I don't know how to put this diaper on. And
Fit problems.
it was
Okay. The
it was
fit problems that you're
frustrating.
talking about. Yeah. Like fitting
For the diapers,
yeah.
yeah. And it was frustrating, but at the same time, it's like there was people that were willing to help me on video. There was people that were willing to help me with different ideas and all that. So, I
And
mean,
these
I
were
know
people from Unsnapped who
these
said
were
that,
all on
hey,
Unsnapped, yeah.
on Lil Helper Unsnapped, where people were saying, hey, Brooke, come on video and I'll help you.
Yeah, yeah. Send me a message on Messenger. We'll live chat and change your baby, and we'll figure it out. This is all from
Wow.
Unsnapped. So I got a ton of like love and support, and I still go on and be like, how do I, he's growing like a weed, and I'm like, oh, is it really time to let out the rise? Like, I still go on and ask for fit help, and people are always right there to help. So then when I see somebody struggling with a newborn fit or a skinny leg hack or something like that, I'm like, I've been there, done that. Let me try to help you. Here's some pictures of how he
Amazing.
looked. So I just think that, like, they say it takes a village to raise a child, but with the past few years, we haven't been in villages. We've been in our own houses. And these friendships that we've made virtually have been like a huge support to all of us in that group. So I think it is a culture that starts with the company 100%. Like the first time I got the trial diaper and there was like a handwritten note and chocolates, I'm like, wow, this is such a sweet touch. And it made me want to continue to support the company for sure.
Thank you.
So I think the culture comes from you. Um,
Yeah, the business,
and the
like
people
it's
that
more
work
than
with
me now.
you.
At one
Yeah.
point, maybe it was me, but now everybody in the business, everybody at Lil Helper is actually the same kind of mindset, the same kind of attitude to serve the people that you guys are patrons. And the crazy part is that our customer groups, our customers are so involved and engaged that they become part of that journey as well. Brooke, if you want to switch off your camera, if you're uncomfortable, I'm
Oh,
okay
I'm
with that.
fine. We just
Yeah.
had World Breastfeeding Week. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty concealed.
Okay, good. Okay, so whatever you're
No, I'm
comfortable with,
fine.
don't feel uncomfortable. I don't want to make you uncomfortable. Brooke, I
No,
want
I'm
to,
good.
before we kind of say goodbye, I want to show you a little
Yeah.
sneak peek on our little thing that we are going to send out as a gift with our pre-orders that will ship out
I
sometime
can't
soon.
wait for the pre-orders.
This is a storybook that we have made. This was made we've been working on it for 2 years and we finally printed it. So this is like a little book, Sammy Won't Sleep. And it's a little story about a kid who won't sleep because blah, 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 blah. And then two engineers make a cloth diaper and then the baby finally sleeps. So this is kind of like a funny way of running, telling a Little Helper story, and Sammy Won't Sleep. So this is a kind of a surprise gift that we
That's
will
super
send in.
sweet.
Yeah.
So
So
is Lil Helper getting into the book publishing business now?
I
Are
want
we
to
going to
do
have
that.
a series of?
I want to do that. I want to do everything.
Yes,
I want to
you're
do
an
everything.
entrepreneur through and through. So
Yeah. And it's not even the entrepreneurship thing. It's just because why not?
it's a
My motivation has never been money. Like I'm not motivated by money, thankfully. I'm motivated by making people happy and producing new valuable things that can make people's lives better. And I think one of those ways is giving our kids, my nephews, my nieces, my own daughter, beautiful educational material, which is I think books, because I think currently
yes.
the books that we see in the market for kids are just suck.
Okay. I haven't checked them out recently. Just my daughters read their own books,
Yes.
but I mean, I can definitely tell you that I use Lil Helper products like morning till night. They're always around. We took a bunch of stuff camping not too long ago, and
Yes, I saw that.
including cloth diapers. So I wasn't sure how it would go, but it was great.
Awesome.
And yeah, just the products that are made just make parenting so much easier, but also they make them fun too. Like I
Yes.
was thinking about if the cloth diapers were just all white diapers, the functionality would still be the same, everything like that, but they wouldn't be fun for us to change the baby. And that's at the end of the day what kind of makes it fun is all these fun prints, all these fun colors. Um,
So my goal with Lil Helper is to make people take good decisions for the environment, for their children, for themselves, despite it being a little bit out of the ordinary or inconvenient. So cloth diapers, basically you make the diaper so beautiful, so easy to use, that it almost becomes nonsensical not to use it.
Yeah, anybody that uses cloth diapers,
Or Lil
it's
Helper cloth
definitely a
diaper.
culture. It's
Yeah.
definitely a culture. It's definitely something, and it's surprising, like the support that you will get from people that do use them or want to use them. But it's also a lot of people that are like, oh, we'll see how long that lasts, or wait till the
Right.
baby
That people
gets
are always
wait
negating any choices that you make out of the ordinary, which is
wait
like
till the
not.
baby gets here, and then you won't want to do all that extra laundry. And I'm just like, I mean, I don't think it's ended up being cheaper for me in the long run because I've amassed quite a collection of them. But if you have just the normal amount of diapers that you need, it ends up being so much cheaper, so much better for the environment, so much more fun. I don't mind doing diaper laundry.
And
It's
if you
kind of fun.
and I'm like, even if you have a few more diapers than say somebody normally would, you still wouldn't be spending anywhere close to $2,500 to $3,000 on diapers
Yeah, the
and
same. Yeah,
disposable diapers, that I mean. And not only that, or you will be out of diapers by two and a half.
yes,
He will be.
yeah,
There's no
yeah,
doubt about it, because most kids are out of diapers by that
yeah,
time.
yeah.
So
So,
that's it.
and these are the same diapers too. Like they fit from the 7 pounds to the
Right.
35 pounds. So he'll definitely use all of the diapers that we have,
Correct.
and it's fun. I just have to stop buying them every time the new releases come out, but I won't be doing that either. So,
Brooke,
but
yeah.
I do hope to gift them to somebody when I'm done with them, and hopefully they'll
And
just
that's the idea. And that's when you
enjoy.
are done with them, I feel that they will still hold their value. They will still
Oh
almost all
yeah,
look brand new. So you will recover a lot of that cost that you
yep.
invested it in, and give it to somebody else that who will use it for another few years. And I'm sure that will happen as well.
I think I'd be able to divide my collection into like 3 separate babies.
Oh my God. Brooke, it was such a pleasure talking to you, catching up with you. I really enjoyed it.
You too.
Thank you very much for doing this with us, being again, and thank you very much for all the energy, love that you bring to our community. You are a superstar. I've seen you around. I've seen you share this beautiful child of yours with us, and it's a treat. Thank you very much, and
Well,
give
thank you.
give your hubby a big hug. Sorry, your partner a big hug
Yep.
from me, and say tell him thank you for being a kind, a generous, and a beautiful man.
He's a big supporter of the company too, and he sees how happy I get with the Lil Helper stuff. He sees, if I'm taking pictures of the baby in diapers and certain things, like he sees how happy it makes me. So it kind of gives me that little hobby that just brings me a ton of joy. And if mama's happy in the house, then everybody else seems to follow. So,
Yeah,
but
I
I
love.
get I get I get the same amount of energy back from the group and from you and from everybody, as I give. So I feel
Awesome.
equally as lucky. So thank you.